Hey, first, let's just make sure too that I don't know if Sean did it, but just want to thank Coach Staley and her crew, man. What an unbelievable season. The kind of consistency that they play with, and the kind of tenacity and toughness. Hopefully, it resonates in this building, which I think it does. And I know it gives me inspiration. Hopefully, it gives our guys inspiration because it's hard to get to that game. I know it didn't turn out the way she wanted, but I can promise you, she's doing everything she can to get back there. And if you don't play in that game, you don't get a chance to win it. So. Kudos to her and her crew. Okay?
Through these first 8 practices now, what's kind of been your evaluation of the progress the special teams have made?
Well, I think definitely better than what it was last year from the players that have been here know the tempo that we're going to practice at. They know the drills we're going to do. Overall, I would say better from a pace standpoint. I think that's been something that our guys have gotten used to over the last few months. And then, I think they want to be part of the good part of this team. And that's what we're going to try to keep continuing to do and keep getting better.
Hey, Joe, this is obviously Mason's second year now. How have you seen him grow as a leader and develop in that room?
Yeah, he's done a really good job of doing his job, which right now is really punting and holding for us. And I think guys see the level of work that he's put in. When I first got here, I looked at him. I think he weighed 159 pounds. Now he's about 195. So obviously he's done some work in the weight room. Guys see his work ethic. And then he's also been a place kicker for us in these practices. So he's doing everything we're asking of him, and hopefully it continues that way.
Other than Mason, would you like to see at the place kicking position, and who stood out so far?
Well, I mean, they've had all have had 14 team kicks, which those are really what's evaluated. All the practice stuff's great, but these are team kicks that occur in practice. So it's a very, very even competition right now. I know Coach is going to keep putting them. We put them in a little bit of a pressure situation on Saturday, and I know he'll keep doing that. In the next 2 weeks. So, we want to see them compete in pressure situations, which is really what the season's all about. So hopefully we can continue that. And then when the summer comes, we get Max in. So then that'll be another part of the puzzle that hopefully we can answer.
You mentioned Max there. What stands out about his game from, your time recruiting him, and just what excites you about bringing him in?
Well, the main thing is he's a bigger type guy. He's got power. We thought his technique was at an advanced level, which a lot of these guys, some guys have it, some guys don't. His did. And then he's just a competitor. He's in baseball right now, and I think he's batting around 500. So he's obviously doing some good things there. But he's a really, really good athlete. He's a guy that we think we'll be able to compete as a punter down the road. Right now, we're going to make him a place kicker and a kickoff guy and see how that goes. But, we're just hopeful that we can get him up to speed. Not being here for this time is definitely it's an increment to those guys for sure. So hopefully we can get him going in the right direction real quick.
At the halfway point of spring so far, after a few practices, is there anything you want to see more from your guys as the spring game gets closer?
Yeah, I would say, just some of the young guys, I'd like them to get better with some of the pace and some of the tempo things. And then obviously, when you're a freshman, it's new for you. That pace and that tempo and the assignments that you're asked to do are different. So, we want the freshmen to take a real big jump in these last few weeks or in these last 2 weeks.
From a long snapping standpoint, what stood out about how those guys are looking to replace Hunter Rogers this year?
Yeah, again, the same thing. Luckily we have a veteran in Cole that's been behind, Hunter the whole time, which he's done a good job so far. Kyler came in and he's competing very well, and then the other two are doing a good job too. So, I think both those guys are competing, and all four of them really have a chance. So we just got to keep them going throughout spring and see where it lands when we go play Virginia Tech.
And from a punt return and kickoff return standpoint, have there been any guys that stood out too so far, and how would you evaluate the progress there?
Yeah, I think the biggest standout probably is Kilgore as a punt returner. You know, he was there last year. He really actually was there as a safe guy for us. When we were in punt safe, he was our returner most of the time, and you know, he had the longest return for us last year. So you know, he came back in great shape, looks good catching it. You know, so we'll see where that goes. But all those young receivers that we brought in, I think you know, all have a chance. You've seen flashes by all of them. The biggest key is that they need to be good at what we call returner mechanics, right? I mean, it's one thing to catch it, but it's also another thing to make sure you make the correct call when the ball's on the ground. It's making sure that I make a fair catch that keeps us from losing 20 yards. It's making the fair catch when it's an inside the 10 situation. I don't catch it on the 3. All those type of things. So that's what we've got to really try to amp up as much as we can through this time, summer, and then fall camp to get them going. Because the thing you don't have preseason games to get that stuff squared away. So every practice is important for those guys.
Obviously, with Max not getting here until summer, do you expect the field goal kicking battle to go right up to the opening game, or would you like to have someone named before that?
Yeah, I think with Coach Beamer, I think, you know, other than probably Lenoris right now, I would say that he wants the battles going all the way up until Virginia Tech. You know, I think that's what our place is built on, is competition, and that's what he's going to do. I mean, and then there's also the transfer portal. You know, you don't know what's going to happen in the next week or so, what happens with the specialists too. So there's a lot of ways to build your roster, and I'm sure that all those will be looked at by all of us. How about the back row back there, dude? That's awesome. Forget about it.